Hundreds of space missions have been carried out in past few decades to unlock the mysteries of the universe. While many have been sent to study the Earth and its atmosphere, there are numerous missions that have traveled great distances to leave boundaries of Earth and explore other planets and moons in our solar system. Today we are going to show you the space missions which have traveled farthest from Earth. Welcome to today's episode, and here are the top 10 farthest space mission from Earth. Rosetta. 356 million miles from Earth. Rosetta was a space probe built by the European Space Agency that reached Comet 67P of Jupiter family comet on the 7th of May 2014. Launched aboard Ariane 5 rocket from Guiana Space Center, Rosetta went up to 356 million miles from Earth and traveled the total distance of 4.9 billion miles, or 7.9 billion kilometers, performing flybys of Earth, Mars, and asteroids Steins and Lutetia over the span of 12.5 years to reach its destination. On its way, Rosetta passed through the main asteroid belt and made the first European close encounter with several of these primitive objects. Rosetta was the first spacecraft to fly close to Jupiter's orbit using solar cells as its main power source. And finally, on the 30th of September 2016, it received its suicide command to complete the mission. Galileo. 420 million miles from Earth. Galileo was an American robotic space probe that studied the planet Jupiter and its moons, as well as the asteroids Gaspra and Ida. On the 18th of October 1989, it was delivered into Earth's orbit by Space Shuttle Atlantis and arrived at Jupiter on December 7, 1995. It became the first spacecraft to orbit an outer planet, which orbited Jupiter for almost 8 years and made close passes by all its major moons. The Galileo mission ended on September 21, 2003, when the spacecraft was intentionally commanded to plunge into Jupiter's atmosphere, where it was destroyed. However, to this day scientists continue to study the data it collected. Juno. 421 million miles from Earth. Juno is a NASA's space probe currently orbiting the planet Jupiter. Launched on the 5th of August 2011 aboard Atlas V rocket from Cape Canaveral Air Force Station. Juno entered a polar orbit of Jupiter on the 5th of July 2016 to begin a scientific investigation of the planet to understand the origin and evolution of Jupiter. It sent amazing photos, atmospheric data, and other observations about the largest planet in our solar system. It is the farthest space probe ever to be powered by solar arrays. Higgins. 794 million miles. Higgins was an atmospheric entry robotic space probe that landed successfully on Saturn's moon Titan in 2005. Built and operated by the European Space Agency, launched by NASA, it was part of the Cassini-Huygens mission. It became the first spacecraft to land on Titan and the farthest landing from Earth a spacecraft has ever made. The probe was designed to gather data for a few hours in the atmosphere and possibly a short time at the surface. It continued to send data for about 90 minutes after touchdown. Cassini. 801 million miles. Cassini was launched on October 15, 1997, on a 7-year journey to investigate Saturn, its rings and its moons, from Cape Canaveral Air Force Station aboard a Titan 4B Center rocket. Cassini was active in space for nearly 20 years, with 13 years spent orbiting Saturn and studying the planet and its system, after entering orbit on the 1st of July 2004. On February 3, 2010, NASA announced another extension for Cassini, lasting 6.5 years until 2017. On September 15, 2017, the mission was ended with a dive into Saturn's atmosphere, but analysis of the return data will continue for many years. New Horizon. 4.8 billion miles from Earth. New Horizons is an interplanetary space probe that was launched in 2006, with the primary mission to study the dwarf planet Pluto, its moons and other objects in the Kuiper Belt. New Horizons became the first spacecraft to visit dwarf planet Pluto in July 2015. In 2019, the spacecraft visited another Kuiper Belt world, Arrokoth, before continuing on into the outer reaches of our solar system. New Horizons is still flying through the Kuiper Belt observing other objects from afar. According to NASA, New Horizons is expected to enter interstellar space in the 2040s. Pioneer 11. 10 billion miles from Earth. Pioneer 11 is a robotic space probe launched by NASA on April 5, 1973, to study the environment around Jupiter and Saturn, the asteroid belt, the solar winds, and cosmic rays. The spacecraft made its closest approach to Jupiter on December 3, 1974, and took striking pictures of Jupiter's red spot and checked out the planet's polar areas for the first time. With a helping hand from Jupiter's gravity, Pioneer 11 soared toward Saturn. On February 25, 1990, Pioneer 11 became the fourth man-made object to pass beyond the orbit of the planets. Earth's last contact with Pioneer 11 was on November 24, 1995. Shortly afterwards, Pioneer 11 maneuvered to a spot in the universe that was out of view from Earth. Voyager II. 12 billion miles from Earth. Voyager II is a space probe launched by NASA on August 20, 1977, to study the outer planets and interstellar space beyond the Sun's heliosphere. It was launched from Space Launch Complex 41 at Cape Canaveral, Florida, aboard a Titan IIIe Centaur launch vehicle. It is the only spacecraft to have visited a combination of gas giants Jupiter and Saturn, and ice giants Uranus and Neptune. Voyager II has been operating for 44 years and 6 months, and now the spacecraft is in its extended mission of studying interstellar space. On November 5, 2018, Voyager II left the Sun's heliosphere and is traveling through the interstellar space, revealing the mysteries of the universe. Pioneer 10. 12 billion miles from Earth. Pioneer 10 is an American space probe launched by NASA in 1972 that completed the first mission to the planet Jupiter. Pioneer 10 is the predecessor of Pioneer 11 and was launched aboard an Atlas Centaur launch vehicle from Space Launch Complex 36A in Florida on March 3, 1972. On November 6, 1973, at the closest approach, spacecraft came within approximately 132,000 kilometers, or 82,000 miles of the outer atmosphere of Jupiter, and close-up images of the Great Red Spot and the Terminator were obtained. On June 13, 1983, the craft crossed the orbit of Neptune. The last very weak signal from Pioneer 10 was received on January 23, 2003, when it was 12 billion kilometers from Earth. Voyager 2 is expected to pass Pioneer 10 around April 2023. Voyager 1. 14 billion miles from Earth. No spacecraft has gone farther than NASA's Voyager 1. Launched in 1977 to fly by Jupiter and Saturn, Voyager 1 crossed into interstellar space in August 2012 and still continues to collect data. The Voyager 1 is a space probe launched by NASA on September 5, 1977, from Launch Complex 41 at the Cape Canaveral Air Force Station aboard a Titan IIIe launch vehicle. Voyager 1 has been operating for 44 years, 5 months and 15 days, and is still in communication with NASA's Deep Space Network. Voyager 1 carries a copy of the Golden Record, a message from humanity to the cosmos that includes greetings in 55 languages, pictures of people and places on Earth, and music. It was placed in expectation that someday Voyager will be discovered by other intelligent species. Voyager 1 carries the instructions to play the Golden Record in the language of the most common element found in space, the hydrogen atom. Any alien life with knowledge of bonds of hydrogen atom can read the instruction and know about our blue planet. These are the farthest space mission from Earth. Let us know if we have missed any space mission that could have made it to the list. If you enjoyed this video, here is another video of top 12 space mission to watch in 2022. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and let us know your views in comments.